Hello and welcome back to the Profitable Coach podcast. I am so excited to have my friend Naeem Mahmood joining today. Naeem, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kim. It's so great to be here with you.
Yeah, I was really excited when you reached out about being a guest because honestly, I can't believe I didn't have you earlier. Naeem has been coaching longer than I have. He's been teaching, facilitating, speaking for years, and he's actually one of the top speakers for Tony Robbins. If you're listening to the show, longtime listener, you know who that is. I reference him quite a bit. And so I'm really excited to kind of pick your brain and hear what has worked in terms of growing your own coaching business and what hasn't. So tell me a little bit about when you transitioned from being one of his top salespeople, top speakers into wanting to pursue something of your own. What did that transition look like?
Totally. Yeah. Well, Kim, before that, I just want to reference what you said earlier. I was just waiting, tapping my fingers on the desk here, just like, when is Kim going to finally reach out to me? And I had to do it anyway. Lo and behold, I reached out to you, Kim.
I put out the call. You heeded the call.
Yes, you did. You did your part. But it is really, I was really excited to see, because I see all the amazing work you're doing in the world and your book and your podcast and the Bold Life Movement, all the awesome things you're doing. So I was like, now would be an awesome, fun time for us to unite our forces and put out some amazing stuff for the world.
I love it.
But back to your other question, when did I pivot, you said, from Tony to my business?
What was that pivot like?
Yeah, so it's wild. Like working for Tony, it's so amazing. And there's definitely parts that you're like, it's kind of like when I played basketball in college. I loved it and I hated it because it's so intense, right? But also so rewarding. And so you learn so much and you grow so much. So working for Tony, it's cool. You have like the brand name everywhere you go. It's like, oh, Tony Robbins, but you're kind of in a bubble. And it's also kind of scary to leave because you don't want to lose that like cachet, right? But I'm like, ultimately my goal is to always have my own business and be able to travel around the world with my fiance now. So I eventually left in 2018 and I started my business then. And I just kind of jumped in because I did have a lot of momentum and I had so many contacts and I was already in such good rhythm. So it wasn't too big of a transition once I made the move.
Yeah. So one thing I want to call out about that is sometimes it's natural that you are working for someone or with someone in some capacity, and then there's like an exit point. And then other times it's a really strategic decision to go work for someone whose name you can leverage and who you innately learn all the necessary skills to run your own business and coach people and facilitate transformation. So for anyone who's listening, I would consider who might you be able to go work for or partner with who is going to catapult you in ways that if you just started launching your coaching business right now, you might not be able to otherwise. Does that resonate, Naeem?
That's really smart. Absolutely. It makes me think of, I think Richard Branson said it once. He's like, go find what you want to get good at and go get paid to learn from somebody that's already great at it. And also partnerships are the best way to grow your business, right? So even aside from working with somebody amazing, just partnering with other companies or brands is always a smart move as well. So 100%.
Yeah, totally. We're leading a program right now, or I'm leading a program right now inside Transformation Academy, all about leveraging JVs and collaborations and like organic marketing versus organic strategic marketing versus paid ads or doubling down on social media. And so I'm curious how you managed to get someone like Jarek to partner with you back in the day, because I know you guys had some programs together. Maybe you still do. I feel like there's some qualities about you that were really intentional that you cultivated to get someone in his position to say yes. Do you want to talk about those a little?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's just because, and you know me so well, Kim, and sometimes it's to a fault, right? But I'm very tenacious, which is why I was one of Tony's sales guys, right? Like, so I'm very tenacious and I don't stop until I get a yes, and which is very bold, right? Which is why we connect so well, because it is really about being bold and not stopping until you get what you want. And you got to have finesse too, right? When I worked for Tony, I learned a lot of more tools of influence where not just just banging my head through a wall, being a little more finesse with the people I communicate with. But yeah, like somebody like Jarek, we still work together. We have a coaching university called Performance Coach University that certifies and trains coaches. But with him, honestly, it's also like you said, but in a different way a little bit, because the thing that got me in with Jarek is I bought his stuff, right? And I heard somebody else say that too. Well, one of my other mentors, he said that actually. I saw it on his video today on TikTok. He's like, go buy the programs and stuff that people that you want to be around, right? Like go invest in their products and services. So that's what I did with Jarek. I'm his coaching client for over 10 years. So that obviously built our relationship. And then I sold myself on, hey, like I want to work with you and partner with you more.
I love that so much. I think it's an often overlooked strategy is like go be, like you said, tenacious, curious, authentic. I tell stories about connecting with mentors of mine, really just to bring them on the podcast, not even necessarily to partner in any large scale way. But it started because I was like, I just want to tell them how much their work means to me and how their book or their course or whatever changed my life. And I'm going to do it in like a really unique and memorable way. And eventually, or not eventually, inevitably, that gets their attention far better than like just sending an email or something. And so if you can get in the door by being a consumer and then show that you understand how to add even more value to their community because you've been such a good student, then I mean, eventually, if they're scaling, they're going to want to build out their team. And so why wouldn't you be a great fit as a partner or a team member or whatever?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm curious, have you guys seen other opportunities like that with students that have come through your program and then you're like, well, now we need more support coaches and we're obviously going to hire people who came through our certification to be the support coaches so that we can leverage our own time. Is that something you guys have implemented?
100%. Yeah. Pretty much I think all the coaches that work with us have all been certified through Performance Coach University, which is like Tony. Tony's a genius at this too, right? His model is go to all his events, buy all the stuff, right? And it's kind
Yep.
of depends on your mindset about it. You're like, oh, he's screwing me over, but it's also, are you actually invested in the product and how committed are you to what the work I'm doing? And that's actually what Jim Rohn did to Tony. Jim Rohn's like, if you want to work for me, buy all my stuff, go to all my events, and then you can work for me.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I don't see it as a bad thing at all. I see it
Yeah.
as like a commitment to their results.
Yep.
I said recently on a social media post that I care more about someone's results than I do about them liking me.
Mm.
And I think that that's something a lot of new coaches who are really heart-led, very service oriented, want to make a difference, that they come up against. Because if you're in the business of transformation, that means you're calling people to do stuff they've never done and be versions of themselves that they've never been. I'm curious if you've come up against that in your history as a coach and how you handled it.
Oh, totally. Well, before I answer that, I do want to say I've been loving the spicy posts you've been putting out, Kim.
Thank you. I love you.
Kim.
We'll have all of our handles linked up in the show notes for those of you who want to go follow Naeem and myself.
But totally, right? It's really, I love what you said, and I go by that too. It's like, I don't want my clients to like me. Obviously, they do like me because maybe not in the short term, in the long term they do, because sometimes change is painful. Well, it is painful a lot of time, right? But that's how you grow, and that's how you get the fulfillment and the real long term ROI that people want. So that is one of my mottos, right? It's like I'm not here to have you like me. I'm here to get you the results that you're after.
Yeah. And how do people respond to that?
Well, one is I do work with a specific type of client, right? So I am filtering for the right person that actually is there to do the work and is hungry and has the drive and the desire to do that. And then
Yeah.
even still though, then there's still some are just, they're ready for it. They just go and they're just like, all right, more, right? But some definitely still feel the burn sometimes. And then there's a little bit of a transformational process, which I get excited about, right? Especially even when I do my talks, sometimes, well, not some, all the time, there's always one or a few, depending on the audience size. There's people in the room that are like, right? Like, and then in the beginning, I'd be like, oh, shoot, right? Or, oh, man, I don't want to cause any conflict. But then I've trained myself to get excited and happy. And because I know what the possibility is and then what the possibility will be. So same with my one-on-one clients when we have them, or even in the group programs where there's some resistance. Now I get excited because I'm like, oh, cool, there's a breakthrough that's about to happen. And those are the clients actually that become even more of a raving fan after they actually go through that little bit of a painful process.
Yeah, exactly. I'm probably gonna butcher the way this is said, but I've heard this saying, it's like sometimes the best customers were once an unhappy customer, because
Mhm.
your ability to go in and shift their story around what happened, around themselves, and then eventually around you makes such a difference and can create an even stronger raving fan. I think that, you know, having to filter is one of the steps that a lot of newer coaches miss, or they don't really know how to do that. So can you speak to what your filtering process looks like?
Yeah, in terms of like clients that I would want to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. People that come into your programs, one on one clients, like how do you make sure only the ideal client is really coming through the door?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one is it's really filtering for their values, right? And like we especially in Performance Coach University, right? Jarek's great at this, right? Building like a heart-centered community that's really focused on love and contribution and growth and just giving to the community versus some are and focused on status and significance and what they can get, right? So um, I'd say those are kind of like the two of the bigger filters, right? And then obviously you could frame questions based on those criteria, right? You could ask questions that will give you those answers and data points. Um, and then just on a phone call, right? Like just getting to feel the vibes and how the conversation goes is like, hey, do I want to? One question I ask is, would I want to be friends with this person? And I saw you made a post about this the other day, actually. Right? It's
Exactly.
like, do I do my? Is it good to coach your friends? Right? And I love your answer because for sure, it's like my clients are my friends, right? Especially
Yeah.
after 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and beyond of helping them transform. It's like it's a very intimate relationship that you develop with this person. So one
Yeah.
of my filtering questions is like, do I want to be friends with this person? And some, it's like, and right away, like when you and I first met, I was like, I'm not sure about this person. No, it's
It's like I can't wait to hear what he's gonna say.
like, I don't know if I want to be friends with Kim, but I'll give her a shot. I'll give her a shot. But eventually,
Her
you won me
energy
over.
is too magnetic. She's too like in what is it, peak state. We met at a
Yeah,
Tony Robbins event
she's
to give
way
you
too
guys
bold for me. I can't handle this. Um,
context.
but no, for like again, for you, it's like, oh, cool, like instant click, right? So that's one of the criteria too. It's just hard to say in words, but that's just more of like a intuition
It's
and
a
a
vibe.
feel, right? Yeah, it's a vibe, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so you were talking about a couple things here. One is like the brand and culture that Jarek has really intentionally created. Another is, okay, we've got like a form that they might fill out where we're fielding them, and then lastly a phone call. What is it that you think can happen on the front end in terms of branding and culture? And how do people establish branding and culture when they're first starting out?
Wow, this is I'm not Kim. This is not my zone of expertise here.
If it was, what would you say?
I'd say,
Hey, do you see what I did just say?
well, well, I'd say for like peak humans and for what me and Josephina do, I think it's really because for Jarek, I don't really Amanda really focuses more on the branding and the culture of that, and I think we have a
Mm,
distinct difference in terms of like the culture we're building. I definitely say they're both heart centered, but mine's more like peak performance and like I'm an athlete, right? I'm just also like a bull, right? It's like whoever's like in that frequency, they get attracted to me, right? Just like people that are relentless and tenacious. And then, so I'd say with that, for me, the way I do it, I think, again, I don't even know how I do it because again, marketing isn't my zone of genius, but I think one is it's going to sound so trite, but I'm always just being myself and authentic, right? It's just like
mm,
100% be yourself. I'd say two, in the application kind of same thing. I'm like I do think about on pen and paper. I'm like, hey, okay, who are like what are the top values of people I do want to join my program, right? My mastermind, and I create questions around that. um I think that's the best I can give you for that one, Kim. Yeah,
yeah, no, you nailed it. Okay, so I'm
yeah,
gonna reflect back what I heard. One was, I'm just being myself.
yeah.
You're like, here's the thing, guys. I actually don't have to be a master marketer, but when I'm the frequency of authenticity and other people are a match to my frequency, then our authenticities collide and combine in a really awesome way. So for people who are like, what do I do on social media? And it's like, just be who you are, be the embodiment of if you're Naeem, longevity, tenacity, being really bullish about what you want and like being committed and just going after it. You be that everywhere. And whereas for me, it's like, be bold, be playful, be risky, be rebellious, be soft and curious. And like all of that's part of my brand. And people can feel that.
Absolutely, 100%. What you said, Kim.
You're nailing this.
It's true. When I stopped trying to be a certain, and Josefina's helped me so much with this, right? When I stopped trying to be a certain way, right? Just off, and again, it sounds so basic, but it's the simple things are the hard things for people to do, right? Just being myself on camera, like just picking up the phone and not trying to put on a show, right? Just, and the best videos I put out are the ones that aren't like scripted, where it's kind of like the same thing I'd send to like you or my friend or Josefina or somebody else. Those are like the ones that get the most views and engagement.
Yeah, I love this topic so much because I see, not just in my coaching world, but also in my life, when people have masks on, I can feel it. Like I'm like, why are you trying so hard? You don't need to try hard with me. Like, relax. Because then when someone's in the frequency of trying hard, that it like creates a feeling of lack of trust and like, oh, am I not safe to be fully me here because I can feel that you're not. And I share this in the context of coaching and building a business because your clients can feel that too. Like when you're not being true to you or when you have shame about something, then it leaks. And I think this is one of the reasons I'm so drawn to my mentor is she's so adamant about shame slaying that it's like a woman, because she mentors mostly women, a woman who has nothing to hide is unstoppable. And so I think that just like feeding that into how you show up in your relationships, in your business, etc., you're going to be naturally magnetic to the people that you're meant to.
Shame slaying. I like that.
Yeah, I know, me too. So I paid her a lot of money. So what were some of, or what have been some of the harder parts about being an entrepreneur or being a coach, whichever?
Yeah. It's cool. Now I'm at the point where I realized this before, but now it's business. Being an entrepreneur is a skill just like anything, right? Just like playing basketball. So it's like, and separating the identity of like needing to be a coach as a business, right? I'm like, even for beyond that, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not like, in the beginning, I was a little caught up and got messed up because I was like, I'm a coach and I have to sell coaching and this is what I do, right? And that kind of messed me up. Now it's like I'm opening it up my blinders a little bit, where it's like, oh, it's not just caught up in this certain identity of like, oh, this is what I do. And then I would miss so many opportunities, and also not just paying attention to the market, right? Like the biggest challenge for entrepreneurs is focusing on like the product they want to sell or the service they want to sell versus like falling in love with their client and like figuring out how to meet their client's needs, right? Which is a huge shift. And I was so caught up in the beginning of like what I wanted to create. And it was more for, and a lot of times it's good that it's for you too, right? You're solving your own problem. But I was just so attached to like just what I wanted to put out and like what I wanted to serve and how I thought it should be. And I missed, and I had struggled a lot with that. So just realizing business is a skill, just like anything else, it made it a lot easier. Now I'm studying business and I'm studying coaching and transformations, like separate arenas. So I'm not kind of just boxing myself in.
I love that. Yeah, first of all, it's almost as though you've read my book. I feel like you were quoting the swoon chapter to a
Oh yeah.
T.
I probably read it just through osmosis, just hanging around, picking up the frequencies. It's called the swoon
Yeah,
chapter.
so I teach a 6-step formula to turning potential customers into soulmate clients. It's called the success formula. And step
Ooh.
number 1 is the swoon phase. It's like when you and Josefina were getting together, you were both like curious and trying to surprise and delight one another, and you're leaning in, and it had to be a match for both of you. It can't just be a match for one of you. So that's a little sneak peek at the swoon chapter.
I love that.
Yeah. And then something else that you said that I really love is that coaching, just like business, just like anything, is a learned skill. And so it's like this identity of a coach can oftentimes put people in a box that they're so not used to that they forget they're not used to it just because they haven't studied the skill yet. They haven't gone to school for it, right? And I think that remembering that can take a lot of the pressure off. And then also maybe not using the label as coach because it can sometimes put us in a box. My story is that you're not just a coach, you're a speaker, you're a trainer, you're a facilitator. Like you said, you're a business owner, you're a partner, you're a collaborator. There's so many things. And at the end of the day, it's about wanting to serve in a way that lights you up and then also wanting to serve based on who's in front of you. Does that feel true?
Absolutely. Yep. Spot on.
So what are some of the things that you're working on right now that you're really excited about, things that light you up?
So the things that light me up the most are my podcast is a lot of fun. It's called Peak Humans, and it's all about mindset, high performance habits, belief systems of just people that are doing great things in the world. And it's fun just because I love having great conversations like I'm having now with you. So it's a great excuse to just get people that I admire or mentors or people I want to learn from, and just get them on and kind of pick their brain and also share that with the world. So that's one thing I'm excited about. In terms of offers and programs, one is called Peak Longevity, which I love because my first passion before coaching was fitness. And before that, it was basketball, but fitness was before coaching. And I'm sure people listening are hearing longevity and peptides and things like that. So it's cool for me that it's like coming full circle, but not just in like a workout way, but in like other ways where getting your blood labs done and doing, I don't know if you've ever done peptides or other people have, but they're like, I do peptides and you have to be very careful and know what you're doing.
Tell us what that means. I have a client actually, who's a friend who just started doing them and giving them to her partner. I don't even know how to say it. Tell us more about what that means. Because I feel like I want to be an early adopter here.
Yeah. Well, peptides are amino acids, right? Which is the building blocks of protein in your body. But what's wild is it's like it goes into your DNA and again, I'm not a scientist, I'm not an expert at all the science. So do some research also obviously on your own, but basically it could turn on and off certain genes and functions in your body. And there's peptides for everything, for weight loss, for muscle gain, for sex, for saliva, just for anything you can't even, for skin, there's peptides that produce more collagen. So your skin, instead of taking Botox, there's one called GHKCU, it's also way healthier than like the other stuff like Botox, but it's also way more effective too. So basically it activates the genes that make your skin cells reproduce way faster. So instead of like every, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, 90 days, I'm just saying, making it up to every like 30 days, right? So your skin is going to look more lush and regenerated. Or I'm sure people have heard about like the weight loss ones, right? Those help with managing your insulin and your glucagon and your appetite. So there's, again, a whole gamut of peptides that you could use. But again, you got to be careful. I'm not a doctor, so don't take my advice. Go do your own research. And then I have a partner that does this with me who has a PhD on longevity. We have a whole team of physicians that actually like prescribes the peptides to people. But even before that, you got to get your labs done, right? Where it's like, oh, cool. Like what is going on with my body, which people don't even check also, which is what I love about my coaching, because it's all about performance, right? Peak performance. But to be a peak performer, you have to measure, like I wear this, right? My sleep, I measure my HRV, I measure my resting heart rate. Like I'm sure people heard of Brian Johnson, right? Which is a little extreme. But so you got to get your blood done. And then from your blood being done, then you can be like, oh, cool, I should do maybe this peptide to increase my growth hormone, right? Or this one to increase my insulin or whatever, things like that, if that makes sense. So we're building a group for people that want to be part of a community and get support from a PhD on longevity and our physician staff to just get better at that.
Cool. And one of the things that's standing out to me from like a meta perspective for coaches who are like, that's cool, but how does that apply to me? Well, one, Naeem started as a performance coach, as someone in the transformation space. And then he took these other things that he's really interested in and he created complementary offers. So anyone who's listening and they're like, Kim keeps telling me to niche and I don't want to leash. It's like, pick something now, pick a result now, like helping people to be holistically high performing in all areas of life, to moving into more specific, more sub niche, like you're a multifaceted being. I imagine you'll have even more product offerings before you die. So that sounds super cool. I love it.
Exactly. Yep. And you put that really well, right? It's like I'm going down into the things that I'm passionate about too. It's kind of like a Venn diagram of what you're passionate about and what's a great offer for your ideal client.
Yeah, exactly. And that is where getting to know your ideal client, or at least designing them, right? Deciding who it is, can be really important.
Yep.
I want to go back to the podcast for a second. Will you peel back the curtain a little bit on how long have you had it? How did you start it? What were some hurdles you had to overcome? How do you reach out to people? Just like give us a little bit more context for people who have the desire to launch one,
Yeah.
but have no idea where to start.
Totally. Yeah. I'm proud of myself with this because, like most people, well, I don't want to say like most people, I was like, I'm not ready to start one, right? Or I don't have any followers. I'm not going to be like Tim Ferriss and have 1 billion downloads, right? And I know you have a friend that's, was dating Tim Ferriss. But I was like, so I always had that story stopping me, right? But I'm like, but then I was like, I'm just going to start a podcast because I want to start a podcast. Like I tell my friends who want to be actors, I'm like, dude, you don't need to be a Hollywood actor to be an actor. Just go act for fun. And I like doing improv. So I'm like, dude, just do improv every week for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter if you become famous, that's cool, or make a lot of money, that's cool. But if you love acting, that's irrelevant to the fact that you love acting, right?
Yeah,
If I love
totally.
basketball, I could still keep playing basketball, irrelevant regardless if I make the NBA or not. So the podcasting, I was like, forget it. I just want to start a podcast because I want a podcast, and it's not about how many downloads I have or the caliber of my guests. So I just started it, and it was funny. I had my nephew set it up. I'm like, figure out how to start a podcast for me, and he did it on like Buzzsprout and like Anchor,
Yeah.
and it was really easy, right? He did it really quick. He's a smart kid, but he set it up, and then I just started interviewing friends to start that I thought were doing cool things, and it's been 4 years now, I think. So it's snowballing more and more. And again, as you do things, you start to obviously get momentum, and you get, oh, talk to this person, talk to that person. And then you get more courage and boldness too. Where I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this person on my podcast. I'm going to start reaching out to people for the podcast too. So I think some of the people I was most proud of, I just had Jack Canfield on my podcast.
So
Like
cool.
now it's been like 3 months ago, but he was even more than Tony, or I wouldn't say more, but before Tony, he was like the first kind of person on my personal development path. I read his book, The Success Principles, when I quit my job on Wall Street. And that was like my kind of gateway book in personal growth. So it was cool. It was a nice full circle moment to have
Heck
him on
yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It makes me think of Russell Brunson's Dream 100 concept. Do you know
Yeah.
of this?
I don't know of his specifically, but I do love Russell Brunson, and I have heard of the Dream 100. Maybe it's the same concept.
Yeah. So essentially, the Dream 100 is just like a spreadsheet that you keep where you list 100 people that you would want to connect with, collaborate with, learn from, hire, or have them hire you. So it's like all your dream clients, all your dream podcast guests, etc. And
Yeah.
one of my very first podcast guests, Jake Heilbrunn, he's epic copywriter. He had Jack Canfield write the forward in his book. This is like 10 years ago when I first launched the show. It was so fun.
Wow.
So it's cool to see that Jack Canfield has like come back around now to be one of your inspires, and on your show it's like everyone is accessible. Everyone is accessible.
Yep.
So just try.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I really one of my favorite things about podcasting is the conversations. And so I like how you said, I wanted to do it. I wasn't worried about the metrics. I just wanted to do it for me. And my consistency paid off, right? Everything is compounding over time. So the more guests you get, the more guests you get. It's kind of how it works.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would you love to have on the show now?
So Peter Diamandis is one that I'm working on. Do you know Peter Diamandis?
Yeah.
He's the big guy in like tech and on the forefront of like longevity and AI and stuff like that. So I have a friend who worked for him. So again, now I'm like getting more, not creative, just asking my network, right, for people that would be cool. Who else am I looking to do? Peter Diamandis. I can't remember who else is like on my short list of people.
Have you listened to Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson?
Oh, one other person, he would be cool too. Yeah, he's got a great show. He would be cool.
Such a good show.
Yeah. Why do you bring him up? You,
One, because I think he would be an interesting interview,
yeah,
because he's interviewed so many people and he's really interested in this topic. I could see you guys being friends in real life, actually.
yeah.
Um, and I'm going to go. I also just tell everyone about his show because I think it's a great show. I'm planning to go to his live tour when he comes to Denver next month.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
mhm.
Well, he would be awesome. And the reason I ask is because I'm like, hey, do you know him, Kim? Make an intro.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I wish. If I did, I would make the connection.
Yeah, but he would be cool. I like his stuff. Obviously, Tim Ferriss would be cool. But the other person I thought that actually I think I might have reached out to him, but James Clear too, Atomic Habits, because he just kind of
Yeah.
came in my frequencies. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to have him on the podcast. Um, I'm looking at my list right now. Yeah, Peter Diamond. Oh, Kamal Ravikant too is somebody else.
Mm.
And
He's been on Modern Wisdom a handful of times, or
yeah,
like,
he's cool. My
yeah.
mentor is friends with him, so my mentor is actually talking to him about being on mine. And then Brian Johnson too, which
Whoa.
I spoke with him at the Bitcoin conference in Vegas. So somebody on his team I'm connected with too, so maybe I'll get him on. He's tough too, obviously. But again, this is where, like you said, Kim, right? It's just to get up bold, be bold, and ask. And uh,
Totally.
yeah,
Do
it's
you
not because
know?
people don't want to. It's just because they're busy, just like you and I are busy, right? It's just like if you get in the right
100%.
time, you'll get it.
Yeah. I mean, especially with people who have missions and messages that they're trying to spread, like
Yeah.
they want to get on people's platforms.
Yep.
So creating a platform gives people a reason to say yes to spending their time with you.
Yeah.
Um, can I tell you one of my old school ways of connecting with someone I wanted on the podcast?
Tell me. Yeah.
It all began at a Tony Robbins event. Do you remember the video that he used to show at Date with Destiny way back in the day? A JP Sears video?
I do remember. Oh, yeah. I think I know he showed JP Sears. What was the video again, specifically again?
One of his like ultra spiritual stuff. So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
old school JP Sears before he
Yep.
rebranded. And I saw him at the event. I forget which Date with Destiny it was, but I saw him and I was just like, "Hey man, love your stuff. Like
Love your
so
stuff.
funny. Thanks." And that was it. Didn't ask to take a picture, just like, a quick appreciation. And then I went home and I recorded a how to integrate after unleashing your power within video in JP Sears style. So I like
Oh,
had the headband, the little flower, the purple shirt, and I got it out before he created his. So it like got his attention, and then someone on the Tony team like put it in their Slack, and then it like got up to Tony somehow. But it was my way of showing my appreciation for
yeah.
JP without making any explicit ask. And so when I did make the ask for him to come on the show, it was like an easy yes for him, and I think he actually came on twice.
That's
Um,
cool. I didn't know you
but
had
it
him
was
on
just
your show.
like,
That's fun.
what's that?
I didn't know you had him on your show. That's so much fun. You'd be a
Yeah,
fun
it was
guest.
really fun. And he was so kind and so like warm. It was, man,
Yeah.
this is so long ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could get him now. He's blown up quite a bit, but you never know.
I love that. Yep. Well, I love what you did, right? You did just something out of pure joy and passion and just you weren't trying to get anything out of it, right? You were just
Yeah.
giving this
I was
to
like, I want to
the world.
entertain this guy who entertains me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I talk about this inside the client attraction method program that we're leading right now. Is like, how can you, whether it's clients or it's mentors or it's podcast guests, how can you be creative and, like Naeem said, tenacious in reaching out? And I have people all the time, they're like, I sent 5 emails and I haven't heard back. And I'm like, then it's still not a no. Like,
Yep.
as far as I'm concerned, it's not a no till it's a no. And even then, it might be a not right now.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what are some things that you have tried in your business to grow it, whether it's like to get more listeners, more clients or whatever, and it didn't work. And you're like, oh, won't be doing that again.
Oh, that didn't work. Yeah.
Did not work.
It's a
Yeah.
great question. Um, I think what didn't work, I don't really go for those big home runs and stuff, right? I kind of just do consistent, fundamental things. But I'd say what doesn't work or didn't work the most is it doesn't work when I'm like forcing it and I'm
Mm,
not. And this is where the bull tenacity actually is backfires on me, right? Like,
mm.
and I've learned other skills like being more finesse and more strategic, but just like pounding and pounding and pounding doesn't work, right? Like
Yeah.
sending 100 emails or like 100 phone calls. Again, there's always exceptions. Sometimes it might work, but like it's not for the amount of effort and time and energy that goes out, it doesn't work. So I've learned to, if this is correct or not, to take a more feminine approach, right?
Oh.
Versus like the masculine, right? Where it's like, I'm just going to bulldoze and like get people's attention. Now I'm like just thinking like, what's a nice, sophisticated
Mm.
way to connect with this human and also give first versus trying to take, right? And also be more creative in like what, like doing your research. And again, people hear this, but they don't actually do it, right? So it's part of my
Yeah.
process now all the time where it's like who is this person and what is their real pain point and what do they really desire in their life? And it might be totally unrelated. Oftentimes it is unrelated to business. Like when I connect with people, it's usually on a personal way. It's like kind of the Trojan horse versus like
Yeah.
business stuff, right? So I'd say, yeah, that's my answer.
I love that. And I feel like the same is true for me. The amount of people who come to me because they want business coaching, and then we're inevitably talking about like how they can shift the clothes that they're wearing because, you know, dressing differently is gonna, we were talking about dress for the feelings you want, not the feelings you have. And it
Yeah.
all starts with like the identity and the beliefs that we have about ourselves and what's possible in the world. And it's like, if we don't address that stuff, then talking about business and strategy and what email client you need and all that is completely moot. Like it's so silly. So yeah, I definitely resonate with that.
I like that. Dress for the
On the
feelings you want, not the ones you have.
Yeah, instead of the job you want, it's like just for the feelings.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I mean, what is everyone saying right now? What's really hot right now? Like the return of, there's like a big return of the feminine, you know, and I can say it in that tone because I don't take any of this too seriously. But it is equal parts science and art. It is equal parts um, structure and masculine and measuring and tracking and assertiveness as it is being in the state of receivership and
Yeah.
nurturing and loving the people that you want to serve. You need all of that.
Yep. The best
Yeah.
deals I ever get, right? And like the most success and still, and I think it's for, again, I don't want to generalize, but for everybody, like one of my clients that's super successful in LA, he's like, I make all my deals when I'm surfing, right? He's out in the
Hmm.
water, talking, having a good time, right? Out of the business context. So same with like I just met somebody the other day. My friend here in Medellin, he's a successful business guy. He's like, oh, you should talk to this guy, Thomas. So I met him through a friend, and this guy, Thomas, he's got a really successful mastermind group here. He's like, oh, you should come to our Halloween party. So we went to their Halloween party, this huge place up in the hills in Medellin. And I met like a bunch of really successful 7-figure, 8-figure business owners that are all like in like the SEO digital marketing
Yeah.
space. So again, my point is, and now it's like I have potential partnerships or just somebody I could hire for support, or even clients, right? People that might want my services. But I'm not going to get that by pounding the phones for 200 phone calls, right? Or sending 200 emails or 200 LinkedIn messages. I'm going to get that by being a cool friend and being a cool
Yeah.
person and just enjoying my life and being kind and loving to people.
Yeah. I would say one of the biggest questions I always get is like, where do I find clients? I'm like, well, where are you
Yeah.
currently? Are you out in the world where people who are hungry for transformation and willing to pay for it are hanging out? Or are you just sitting at home watching Netflix every night?
Hmm.
Like, are you existing in the frequency of what you want and putting yourself out there or not? Uh, yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's making me think of all these people that I want to connect you with in Medellin, actually. So I'll have to do that after the show. I have a personal question for you.
Yeah. Give it to me.
How has finding your partner, your
Mm.
beloved, shifted how you coach or do business?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. it shifted it in many ways, a lot of ways. Definitely. Um, Again, Josephina is such a master at so many things, but she's
Mm.
a coach. She has a relation. She focuses on relationship and love and sexuality. And she's so masterful at what she does. So I'm kind of like extra lucky, right? Just
Yeah.
finding a woman in general is amazing for a man, right? A great partner.
Mm.
Because again, it's not masculine, feminine, but women usually have more of a feminine energy, and men usually have more masculine, and we have both, right? All of us. But just bringing that feminine love and compassion and sensuality and romanticism to my personal life, right? Obviously filters out into my business. But then two, in the business, the way I go about it, two more, right? It's not less as much of like a bull in a china shop, and it's a little more, again, finesse and heart centered,
Mm.
and also like slowing down. Like I think, and I noticed a lot of my guy friends, a lot of my guy clients are really successful business owners, but they just can't stop. It's like wake up and go, right? Work out and go, right? And that's testosterone, which is normal. But
Yeah.
having
Also
that,
cortisol.
and cortisol too, yeah, right. But now that, and this is a challenge a lot of guys have, where they think they need to be successful first, then find a woman, because they think it's going to like take away from them being successful. But I challenge them, it's actually the opposite. It actually makes you more successful, and much
Mm.
more in a much more enjoyable way, and with much less effort and cortisol and pain to your body, right? It's like I get such higher ROI from my phone calls and just the way I show up, because I'm just more calm and centered and present and loving to myself, and then obviously that ripples out to my clients and to the world.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for you.
thank you, Kimbo.
Yeah, you're so welcome. It makes me think of Alison Armstrong, who I learned about from the Tony Robbins world. And she talks
Yeah,
about there's two different kinds of men when they're in their like prince phase, they're building their business, their kingdom, if you will. The kind who thinks that they need to wait till the kingdom is built before they can meet their queen, or the kind who realizes that there is no way they're going to be able to build that kingdom without the queen by their side.
yep,
So I think that's really beautiful.
yeah. I don't think it's right or wrong either way, but I definitely think you get a more unique build if you have your partner with you, right? Because again, it's
Yeah.
like it's just the polarity of the universe, right? You have the masculine, the feminine. Again, I have feminine in me, but obviously I have more of a masculine force. So having, if I was just building it on my own, it would be so much more one dimensional. And yeah, I think it's such a more beautiful, fulfilling experience this way.
Yeah, and that's my original certification as a coach was high performance through Brendan Burchard, and it's all
Mhm.
about helping high achievers to not just achieve at great levels, but achieve sustainably over
Yeah.
time and feel fulfilled. And I think that that fulfillment piece is the one that a lot of people miss when they're just in like achievement status orientated mode.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's no way to live. Yeah, cool. Well, before we wrap up, Naeem, tell me one thing you wish that you had known when you were first starting your coaching business.
Mm, I wish I knew that it just, again, like it's like a skill. So it's just a function of practice. So it's a function of how quickly I start.
Mm.
If it's something that you know you want to do, like start as soon as possible, right? And it's
Yeah.
not for everybody too, right? So some people think they should be an entrepreneur or a coach, when there's nothing wrong with having a job and like being on a team. Like that's cool too. So
Yeah.
one, being your authentic self, but then two, if you do know you want to be an entrepreneur and a coach, um, the quicker you start, just the more reps you're going to have, right? So I wish I started when I was in my 20s. I started in my 30s, right? And I'm getting
Yeah.
better and better as I go. It's been 6 years now, so it's getting better and better every year. But again, if I see entrepreneurs in their 20s, I'm like, you're a genius. You started when you were 22. I'm like, of course you're killing it as 30 years old now, right? Or 34, 35. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was just, if you know it's what you want to do, just start as soon as possible, because it's really just, again, a function of how many basketball shots you're going to take every single day, like Steph Curry, and you'll get better and better the more you practice. One of my
Yeah.
really good friends, who's a multimillionaire, he's a crypto founder in Puerto Rico. He has a private jet, and he said it a great way. He's like, dude, it's just business is playing, and the more you play business, the better you're going to get. There's no right or wrong way. Like all these funnels and this thing, right? Optimize this way. It's like, yeah, there's some cookie cutter ways, but ultimately everybody's making shit up themselves. Like Steve
Mm-hmm.
Jobs said, right? Like, so there is no right way to do business. Like just go out and start playing it and obviously learn from smart people. You always want to do that, right? And get coaches and mentors, but there's no like right way to do it, right? So the more you get out there and play business, the better you're going to get at it.
Yeah, I love that. And don't wait to be confident to start. You become confident by
Yeah.
starting.
Yep.
It's confidence is just courage compounded over time. So trust that if you're showing up, putting in the reps, like you will get better.
Boom. Yeah, exactly right. Confidence comes from taking the action. You sound like Layla Hormozy, Kim.
Is that his wife?
Look at that. Yeah.
I don't even know. Tell us, Naeem, where can we go follow you? Where can people listen to the podcast? All the things.
So they can go for the podcast. It's Peak Humans, Apple Store, Spotify, and the other platforms. But those are the two main ones, obviously. And then my Instagram is I am Naeem Mahmood, and everything else is my name.
Cool. And we'll have all that linked up in the show notes as well. So
Yep.
thank you so much for coming. It was so cool to get to shine light on your world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for shining your light on me, Kim. I appreciate it. You finally made up for all the pain you've inflicted on me for the last 12 years of our friendship. Almost.
Go follow Naeem if you want to laugh.
But it's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. Thanks so much. I love the work you're doing in the world, and thanks for having me on, Kim.
Thank you.